Hello and welcome back, and today I want to talk again about the brand new TS-451D2. That's right, we're going to do our usual 5x5. For those that don't already know by now, come on, I've done several of these, you must. Simply, I'm going to give you 5 reasons why you should buy the brand new QNAP TS-451D2, and then I'm going to give you 5 reasons why you might not want to buy it, and ultimately help you decide whether this deserves your data. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. Reason number 1 that you may want to buy the 451D2 is its bloody petite. As a 4-bay RAID 5 Intel powered solution with HDMI out and a dual LAN and USB coming out of the wazoo, this device is really quite small. Once you compare it against a number of 4-bays I've had on this table, which I will be doing soon, ultimately you're left with the impression that this is an incredibly small NAS solution, and particularly one where the 4 bays of storage take up the majority of the entire system. It's incredibly compact, and for those of you that are looking for a set up and forget solution, or a system that's going to be in your home or office environment and you haven't got a vast amount of space, you could do a lot worse than something this small, and particularly for a RAID 5 4-bay solution. Reason number 2 that you may want to buy the TS-451D2 is the CPU memory combo. This is an Intel Celeron powered NAS. It's a dual core, and it also arrives with 4 gig of DDR4 memory. That's quite good for a compact 4-bay. The number of compact 4-bays that have kind of plastic chassis, compact in design like this one, generally arrive with a 32-bit ARM, maybe a 64-bit Realtek ARM-based CPU, but ultimately generally very, very modest specs. Normally the memory is soldered on, so you can't even upgrade the memory within the lifespan of the product, and this device arrives with an Intel 64-bit x86 Celeron processor, and it arrives with memory that can be upgraded, and DDR4 memory at that. You can even add 2666 megahertz memory from third-party companies as well. What I'm saying is, this is a lovely little compact 4-bay with some very nice hardware architecture behind it, and that CPU opens the doors to Plex media server, 4K transcoding, virtualization, surveillance utilization, and just generally a lot of features and functionality from QNAP and QUTS and third-party hardware providers as well. Reason number 3 that you might want to consider this NAS for your next NAS purchase is, in line with it being compact, it's actually surprisingly quiet as well. When we did our Plex testing in a previous video, which is hopefully live by now, this system we had with 4 drives inside. They were WD Red 4 TBs, and it was pretty quiet. Yes, we were using 4 TB drives there, so none of the big old enterprise 10, 12, 14, 16 TBs with the whirs and clicks of those drives themselves. But with nice mid-range drives, this system was surprisingly quiet, which is definitely desirable in a compact solution. And a number of you out there, when you buy a network attached storage solution, you want something that's not going to disturb you. Now, you might not be in the same room as this, but you might have it in the corner, and you need something that's not going to be irritating or hum in the background while it's utilized, especially for multimedia, when those noises can be real irritating at the more tense moments of a movie. Now, if you are running photo setup, post-production, stuff like that, you're not going to be able to edit on a device like this, but you might have it in an environment where noise and hums and vibrations and stuff like that, you know, they're going to get clocked and noticed. But with this device, it does have a nice low noise level compared to the number of solutions. Even other plastic chassis, Intel powered for the most part, aren't quite as low noise as this device. Reason number 4, I've kind of touched on this a lot, but I feel it needs its own solid point. This device arrives with a little bit of everything that QNAP is about, and if you're looking for an entry point into the world of QNAP and you want to make sure that all the boxes are ticked, that you're not going to get a solution where you go, oh, but QNAP said they do this, but this doesn't do this. At this price point and with what it arrives with RAID support, it arrives with support of the entire QNAP library of applications, from backups to AI-powered photo recognition to multiple surveillance apps, support of USB cameras, 4K and 1080p transcoding, Plex Media Server, their own apps, business apps, cloud gateways, multi-tier backup solutions, type of hybrid backup sync 3, There are just so many applications and options from the software platform in client and NAS apps, all of which run and included on this device. And then on the rear, it adds link aggregation, it adds HDMI out with a parallel HD station app and numerous other ways to interact with the device. What I'm saying is, this device gives you a little bit of everything of what QNAP's about, and I think that's very, very important, because after this, all the NASs upwards above this are a lot more expensive, and although they give great features, all they give you is the same software and the same features, but more so. This is the device that serves as the entry point to all of them, all in one device. Reason number 5 that you may be interested in this device, and this one's a bit of a weird one, but stay with me. It's got 4 USB 3 ports, okay? So this device, with USB, like any NAS, with the exception of about 3 in the entire history of my time running this YouTube channel, USB on a NAS is not like connecting to a USB flash drive or something. The client-host relationship is different. USB ports on this device act with the NAS as the host and these being the clients. You can only attach devices to them to communicate with the NAS, not communicate with the NAS connected to a PC with a USB port. So technically, on the face of it, 4 USB ports, who cares? But if you look at QNAP's range of expansion chassis, if you look at the range of peripherals and accessories supported by the QNAP platform, both with HDMI stuff, with keyboard, video, mouse, adapters and stuff, to USB dongles that translate to 5 gigabit Ethernet connections on the rear, and more supported USB devices, along with all those expansions of 2 and 4 and 8 and 12 bay expansions, 4 USB ports on this device is very, very impressive, because it allows for a lot of hardware to be bolted to it, to be made network accessible, to improve the storage system. And to have that at this tier is impressive. Behind me here is the 6 bay, and that's only got 2 USB 3 ports and 3 USB 2 ports. This device has got 4 USB 3s, and I'm thankful for it, because again, it's that point again about a little bit of everything. It opens the door to pretty much everything QNAP is about. So, those are the reasons why you should think about buying it. What about the reasons why it might not be suitable for you? Reason number 1 that it might not be suitable for you. It's a little bit pricey. QNAP for me has always been the brand where the hardware has been the best value. Although their software is great, and I do believe all of their solutions are presented as great hardware and software combo solutions, has to be said that the price point of this, somewhere between £435 to £450, including tax wherever you are in the world, seems a little steep. When you think the 4-bay TS-451D with a quad-core CPU, with 2.5 GBE, with PCI upgradability and stuff like that, and 3 years of warranty, that device is only about 100 to 120 quid more than this. And the tier underneath it, the 2-bay 251D, that arrives at about £250 to £300 shopping around. I think it is about £310, £320. The price difference between them just seems like this shouldn't be near to 435, 450 quid. This should be priced at about 400 nicker. So maybe later after this video, the price may change since release. Maybe you'll see it at a better price. But right now, 435 to 450 for me just seems a little pricey for this device. Reason number 2 that you might not like to buy this device for you is it's 1 GBE only. QNAP has made a big splash with the majority of their new solutions arriving with 2.5 GBE as standard, and that's a good thing. The idea that 2.5 GBE is arriving at the price of 1 GBE on all of their systems is to be applauded, and I really like that. Which is why it bums me out that even though this has link aggregation, they're both 1 GBE. Again, it comes back to that price point as well. I just think this is priced too close to devices with 2.5 GBE to not feel the tiniest bit shortchanged. I wish this was 2.5 GBE because QNAP are really making waves on that, and this feels like a little bit of a step back in that external Ethernet department. Reason number 3. You may not want to get this device for yourselves. And again, this is more about me, and I know not everyone's going to agree. I don't like the fact there isn't an LCD panel. And I know that's really minor. But as someone who interacts with several NAS devices, and I'm sure you can hear a bunch of them over there in the background in the corner, I like when I hear a beep or an alert, I have to figure out what the problem is as quickly as possible. Be it storage degradation, be it someone trying to connect that shouldn't, be it some sort of conflict, a temperature, a problem. I want to know the problem quickly. And for all of the apps, for all of the alerts, for all of that stuff, nothing to me has the ease of seeing an LCD panel telling me the problem. Being able to find out the IPs, click, click, find it. Is there a temperature problem? What's that beep? Look at it. It's telling me there's a storage ball problem. It's telling me the RAID is there's RAID degradation. It's telling me that there is a problem. And I like that. And that's something that we're seeing less and less of in a number of QNAP solutions. We're seeing it at the top tier, but it's slowly disappearing from systems like this, which is a real shame. Reason number 4 that you may not get this device is the fact that it's only a dual core. Now, as it goes, it's a bloody good dual core. I quite like this dual core. It's the J4000 series. It's got 4K transcoding. It's got 1080p transcoding. It's great for a number of features. It's certainly better than the generations of devices in the Celeron family that have come in QNAPs before this one. But it's still a dual core, and dual core means limitations in container deployment. It means limitations in virtualization and Linux station. It means when you run those applications, you have to dedicate like one core to them to leave one core to run the system, which means you have a virtual image, container, VM, Linux, whatever, running here, and you've got the system having to rely on the remaining core, and it runs things a little thin there for those of you that want to take advantage of those apps. Now, one could argue you don't have to use them. If you want to use those apps, pay a little bit more, get a more expensive one. But in that case, don't advertise that it can do those things if the way you're going to use it is just not going to be ideal. Because if you do enter into some of those applications, you need to make sure you've got enough resources for those, but also for the NAS system. And I think a dual core isn't quite enough for that, even in 2020 and even with that CPU. Reason number 5, the final one, and again, this is more about QNAP in general than just this device, no fluid RAID system. Of all the things that we've seen, the RAID brands, all of them across the field that I talk about here on the channel, one of the strongest arrows in the quiver that Synology have is Synology Hybrid RAID. It's a fluid RAID system where you can mix and match drives. Drobo have got it with Beyond RAID, and I'm still surprised to this day that you still can't get it on a QNAP NAS. The ability, and they've gone down the ZFS route with QUTS, with triple parity RAID and RAID Z. That is beautiful. But the fluid RAID system would be so desirable at this price point. The idea that a person can either just add 2 drives on day one at like 4 TB each, and at a later date introduce larger drives, that's good. The ability to have a fluid RAID system where you increase the size of your drives and the RAID doesn't automatically list them all as the smallest available drive is a good thing. If you go for a device that's got drives inside and you want to gradually upgrade your drives and introduce larger drives as you go and still enjoy the benefits of those larger drives gradually over time, a fluid RAID system presents that to you. And it's something QNAP still haven't offered to their customers, unfortunately. But this has been 5 reasons to buy the brand new 451D2 and 5 reasons you might want to give it a miss. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. If you've enjoyed the video, click like. If you want to learn more, click subscribe, and do visit the links there to NASComparison.com to get your first NAS today. I will see you next time.